Welcome back to LPB Roundup. I am Ryan, and this is your Lancaster Barnstormers season preview. Lancaster is looking to bounce back from their worst season in franchise history. They finished 51-89 in 2019, 8.5 games worse than the second worst team, Southern Maryland, who we just talked about. The Barnstormers were one of only two teams with Southern Maryland who were below average in OPS, ERA, and fielding percentage. This comes after a 2017 and 2018 team where they averaged 75 wins, and get this, they won 74 games in 2018, 23 more than they did in 2019, despite playing 14 less games in 2018. Things went off real quickly. Let's see how Lancaster's looking to get it all back together here. Let's start looking at these projections by breezing over the infield real quick. We'll just talk about the general setup because I really want to look at the outfield. Anderson De La Rosa will be the main feature behind the plate. Likely Anthony Peroni will also be a primary backup option there. He can play first too, so they list him as a catcher on the site, but he's got potential to do both. Robert Rosado is an interesting case. He's a totally unknown quantity. I couldn't find any stats to even work projections for this guy. I think he was down in Florida doing something. I think he might have been involved with maybe doing coaching. That's what I've got. Robert Rosado, total question mark. Let's see how that goes. Turning the attention to the rest of the infield, there's a lot of guys playing multiple roles here for Lancaster, which is great for them. Good positional versatility, but we're also not going to really pin guys in the two main positions here because I'm a little out of the loop on what Barnstormers are up to. So we'll just talk about, in general, some of these names. A lot of familiar names, by the way. Guys like Blake Aleman, who's an infielder, outfielder guy. Melvin Mercedes, who does infield and utility work. Louis Hidalgo, who's a first baseman and corner utility guy. I told you, everybody's playing everything. The Barnstormers have also brought in Cleo Louis Rondon. I think I nailed that name. He will definitely be the shortstop, I would say. He's almost entirely a shortstop. Kelly Dugan is also listed as a first baseman on the site. I project him as an outfielder, so it shows what I know. Now, when it comes to the outfield, there are lots of interesting options for Lancaster. Starting with Caleb Gindle. Caleb's back for his fourth season with Lancaster. He played great in his first 3 seasons, and we expect him to lead the offense this season. Trayvon Robinson's a guy that we actually discussed in another video, but I expect him to start in center. I'm not totally sure exactly. I don't know how B.J. Boyd, Ladarius Clark, and Devin Torrance fill out compared to the rest of the outfield there, but it looks like it's going to be a great outfield to watch in Lancaster. Now, I do have some concerns about Lancaster's pitching. Lancaster only has 2 guys on their roster projected to post an ERA below 4. Scott Schumann would be the first one. He's been great in the Atlantic League, including 3 straight seasons that he's been in Lancaster. He has a 2.39 ERA over that time. His numbers did decline a little bit in 2019, but we still expect a very good year from him. Consider like a 2.7 ERA, maybe a whip between 1.1 and 1.2. Great high leverage guy for sure. Garrett Granitz, who's already on the injured list, they had a hand or a finger thing going on, but it should be short-term injury. He should be back for the full season. This will be his 3rd season with Lancaster, and he's an interesting case because 2018 was great for him. 2.72 ERA, 8.4 hits per 9, but 2019 was rough. He had a 5.06 ERA and more walks than strikeouts. So we basically project Garrett right now to split the difference, to get his control back, to increase his strikeouts, post like a 3.7-ish ERA. Now that's, again, your 2 lead arms out of the bullpen. We expect the rotation for Lancaster to look like Jared LeKind, Andrew Coutura, Heath Philmeyer, and then Tyler Herb will probably fill that out. Combined, they project a 4.30 ERA, which isn't terrible, but we're not sure who that 5th option is going to be. They did actually indicate at one point, Lancaster did, that they would want 6 starters at least to start the season, coming off the weird year last year. And altogether, it's a good roster. We're not totally confident in the infield offense or the pitching staff beyond those 2 guys that we really dug into, Garrett and Scott Schumann. With all that said, let's get Lancaster on the win probability graph. Our average projection sits Lancaster around 59 wins. To the left of that 59 line, you're going to see that there's a good probability that that 54 to 58 win range comes through for them. To the right, you'll see a steep drop-off in probability after the 60 wins. Because of the number of things that would need to come together and the number of guys who would have to outperform projections, it's far easier to kind of slide into that 54 to 58 range if a couple things come off of the average or the projection. A lot of things would have to come off that projected line in the right direction for Lancaster to really hit above 60 wins this year based on what we have. They could reasonably be as high as 66 wins this year or as low as 52, but we really, I think 90% of our projections held them between that 54 and 61 range. Despite being somewhat close to the projected total of wins as Southern Maryland, we only give Barnstormers about 31% chance of beating out Southern Maryland in the standings this year. Of course, Rosters change. Things change very quickly in the Atlantic League. A lot of turnover, so we'll see how that adjusts. We will be updating this once or twice a week, too, to look at what the projected standings look like based on games that have happened and roster moves that have happened. Of course, we still have 2 more teams to get on that projected wins table for the Northern Division, so lots to learn still, lots to compare to at this point as we catch up soon with York and Long Island. That brings us to the end of our Barnstormer season preview. Tomorrow I expect to have the High Point season preview for you. Be sure in the meantime to subscribe to ALPB Roundup on YouTube, follow us on Instagram at ALPB_Roundup, follow us on Twitter at ALPB Roundup, subscribe to ALPBRoundup.com for all of your daily updates as the season gets rolling. We will be doing daily recaps, including series reviews and previews, and we'll also be awarding game balls to top performers. Whoever collects the most of those Player of the Game awards, we'll give them some sort of prize, probably at end of the first half, end of the second half. No idea what it'll be. Probably we'll do something wild. It'll probably be Chipotle gift cards because they're baseball players. And, well, yeah. There is lots to look forward to here at ALPB Roundup. We're less than a week away from opening night in Gastonia. I will be there. I don't have AC in my truck. It'll be fine. Doesn't matter. Until then, I'm Ryan, and you will hear from me again soon.